Good morning, everyone in Heart Failure Land. This is Chris, and it's February the 13th, and we're nearly through our first week. Who could believe that? Now I've been looking at my statistics for the course so far, and what I've discovered is as follows: we have 15 people on the course. It's a really good intake, for this time of the year. That really is a good crowd, really. But it's an interesting crowd too, because 7 of you 15 are from Saudi Arabia, old friends from Saudi Arabia there. Um, I'll be speaking to you in just a second, you specifically. But so this represents an interesting international intake. For the rest, we haven't really got many people from the rest of the country. I think there's one person from Manchester. Um, but mostly it's from the locality, the Liverpool or the Wirral. Dave Hughes, good to see you again, Dave. Dave is hopefully still very adept at IT. I remember getting a communication from very distant parts from Dave, and I could hear myself on his laptop a million miles away, you know. I still talk about that, Dave. That's still one of the high spots of my professional career as a teacher. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm busy compiling mailing lists for you all. That is to say, I like to have a list of people on a mailing list for a module, so that I know that I can get in touch with people very easily. You would be amazed. You would be amazed at how many people come on an online course, a fully online course, and don't give me an email address. How does that work? How am I supposed to get in touch with you? Telepathy, X-ray specs. Um, so I'm still busy. I've just texted people. If you're one of these people, I've just texted you and said, send me an email so I've got somewhere I can post materials to. Mostly I'll be able to get in touch with you through this, but there are occasions where I might need to alert you about something, and email's a good way of doing it. I'd much prefer that than my phone. But the other thing is Facebook HEA3174 is the Facebook group which I use for this module. That's a really good way of getting in touch, and it's off the premises, so we can be a bit more relaxed about it. You know what I mean? So when I finish doing all these little films, I'm going to start paying attention to Facebook again, so that I can get in touch with people informally. So the other thing that I'm doing, and I'm not going to be doing this today while I'm at home, I need to be in the office to do this, but I'm converting everything to an iPad friendly format. Not necessarily you lot, not necessarily first, but I'm working through my modules one by one. It is incredibly laborious to reconvert, or it takes 20 minutes for each lesson. Yeah, and there's loads and loads and loads of lessons on this and other courses. And then you've got to mount it properly into Blackboard. Oh, it's a nightmare. But that's what I'm busy doing, because I recognise the fact that these days people have got rid of PCs to an extent, and they are sitting at home watching the telly with their iPad on their knees, you know what I mean? And if it's not an iPad-friendly course, then I'm kind of missing a trick, really. So that's what I'm doing. So we've got, for all of the course materials, we've got the discussion board. I've just set that up for you. I've made sure that the handbook's ready, and that the handbook's all up there, so you can see when you've got to hand your work in, and etc, etc. And you can always contact me through email as well. So we've got the discussion board, we've got the Facebook group, we've got email. There's no shortage of ways in which you can get in touch with me. Right. On the module content page, first of all, you will only be allowed to see 1 week at a time. I don't want you to see all of the materials all at once. But there's other material on there as well. There's old students' essays. Yeah. Now take a look at those essays, and they'll be a good guide as to what's passed in the past. There's also some very interesting, what they call vignettes, about the history of heart failure. Yeah, landmarks in the treatment and investigation of heart failure. Really interesting they are. Take a little look. And then there's another little story that I've put up there. I recorded this story off Radio 4, and it's got a mildly cardiac-related theme to it. So, you know, it's not essential for the cause, but on the other hand, it's, you know, if you're sitting there doing nothing on your iPad, you might want to listen to that. It's only 15 minutes long. Okay, I want to say a few comments just to my Saudi friends out in Saudi there. You will recall from the last semester that a characteristic problem that you all seem to have was referencing. Yeah, I'm not surprised at that. You know, feel free. You're here to learn. And now I'm going to address some remarks to you in the way of learning. If you are, number one, for your essay, only use journals. Yeah? Not websites, not books, only use journals. Only use journals after 2005. I'll show you how to do this, by the way. Don't worry, there's extra films on the way about how to use our electronic library. Only use journal articles. Look at the guidance I gave you for Harvard referencing. And each week, on the subject that is raised in the week, what I want you to do is to send me 2 sentences, that's all, just 2 sentences, and each sentence has a reference in. So that as we're going through this course, I'll be able to see whether or not you have problems doing your in-text and reference list at the end. Yeah? And by the end of the course, you will be, oh yes, you will be word perfect in the system of Harvard referencing. So, only journals, only after 2005, practice on a weekly basis, and we'll get this tidied up, this problem. I'm going to do a short film after this on finding your way around our electronic library, so bear with me on that, everyone, okay? So, anything else? I don't believe there is. Anything else? Are we finished? You know where I am, everyone. If you know one of these who haven't sent me an email to communicate with, if you do know them personally, I don't know whether you might, get them to send me an email, will you?